Hello, leaders. Welcome to Run to Your Leadership Challenges, the daily show that provides tips and techniques to help you navigate the leadership challenges you face every day. I'm your host, Paul Grau Jr. from the CLC Team, and we work primarily with military leaders to help them be the absolute best leader they can be. Our primary goal here is to help you lead from your very best self. Because let's face it, everyone deserves a great leader. So let's jump right into today's topic. So today I want to talk about lying. I mean, there's no good way to come out and talk about lying without coming right out and talking about it. So there's liars and there's liars. Because let's face it, we have all lied once or twice at least in our life, right? I know I have. And sometimes we call them little white lies or, just stretching the truth a little bit. Well, regardless of what we call it, if we are not telling the truth, it's a lie. It could be a white lie, whatever you want to call it, but it's a lie. And lies can come back and bite you in the butt. They will always catch up with you. I heard a quote. My wife and I were watching the HBO Max miniseries Chernobyl last week. And I heard this quote and it said, it was near the end of I think it was in the last episode, Professor Valery Legasov, the one professor that was kind of a main character in the show, at the very end, he said something that really stood out. And it was like one of those quotes like, ooh, that'll really preach, But it said, every lie we tell incurs a debt to the truth. And sooner or later, the debt has to be paid. Man, just think about that. Every lie that we tell incurs a debt to the truth. So it's building up over time. And sooner or later, you got to pay that debt off. When I think of that and I heard that, I was like, man, that is so true, because it doesn't matter how big or how small the lie is. Sooner or later, it has a way of resurfacing. And it has a way of putting you in a really bad spot, a very embarrassing spot sometimes, because you have to justify, or you have to just come out and admit that, yeah, you know what? I didn't tell the truth there. And that is tough. In a leadership role, believe me, you don't ever want to put yourself in that position. I have seen tons of people do dishonest things throughout my life and throughout my career, even in the military. And they turn around and they try to convince me that, oh, it's only a small thing. Nobody's ever going to know. Well, I know, and you know, and in the Air Force, the very first core value was integrity first. If you don't have integrity and you can't be honest and tell the truth about something, man, everything else stems around that. I used to tell stories about when our kids were smaller, we'd go into Walmart, they'd be sitting in the shopping cart, we'd be pushing them around, and little did we know, they would kind of sneak things in the basket. And we'd get up to the register, we'd pay out, we'd get to the car, we'd get unloading the basket, and lo and behold, underneath my wife's purse or stuck in their baby seat or stuck under a blanket, we find something that they lifted. And every time that happened, guess what we did? We turned around, one of us ran back in the store, took it to customer service, we would return it. And people would always tell us that, man, that's crazy, that's ridiculous that you did that. And I'm like, why? The really interesting thing is the customer service rep that we took it to in Walmart would almost argue with us. Well, you can't bring it back. When people hear that and they say, well, it's no big deal and you should have just kept it. Well, no, because I know. It doesn't matter if anybody else knows. And the bottom line is here, we do things that just aren't right throughout our lifetime. I mean, I get it. I'm as guilty as the next person, especially when I was growing up and trying to get out of trouble that I was in. But just like the quote says, sooner or later, that truth is going to surface and we're going to have to pay back that debt against the truth. So my advice is to strive to be truthful. Remember, as leaders, we are leading the way. We are modeling the way for the people around us because they're always watching us. No matter how bad it may look or how embarrassing it may be to admit that you screwed up sometime, just tell the truth. It's going to be very tempting for a leader to construe the facts a little bit to make their team look better. But you know what? It's just not worth yours or the reputation of your team to lie. Hey, as always, thank you for listening. So we have some big things going on here with our online membership group for leaders. It's actually growing, and we're adding a new group specifically for military leaders. Now, we're still working out all the details and bonuses that will be included. But for now, please help us spread the word. This group will be a place where military leaders can learn new skills, refine older skills, and have deep discussions with like-minded leaders who actually get exactly where other military leaders are coming from. We're going to tap into everyone's expertise, and the group members will help bring out the very best in each other. So keep tuned in, and please be sure to let any military leader that you know about this group, and that will be up and running very, very soon. This is going to be different than any other leadership development group out there. So be ready and, man, get excited. Hey, that's it for today. And until tomorrow, run to your challenges.